Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. Our sponsor is John Jones Real Estate. Going to roll over to Memphis. Going to talk to my good friend, the head coach of the Christian Brothers Purple Wave, head coach Thomas McDaniel. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Cooking dinner for my kids and got home at 6 o'clock. So, life is good.
Oh, it is good. Getting ready to watch here in a little bit. Sonny's at San Francisco, his last game of the season, and that game is going off at 8:45. So I'm going to watch it here in a little while. But
golly, man, how many years has that been for him?
God, well, he was drafted in 2011. He was 18th overall by the A's. So
he's been in 14 years.
Yep, sure was.
Golly,
yeah.
Mm.
Played that first year at Midland. Went to Midland, went to Double-A. Rode a Greyhound, messed around.
Yep.
Then got over to Triple-A. They moved him into Reno. He played for the Aces like a month, and then Bob Melvin was the head coach of the A's. Called him up. It was long about April of that second season. I mean, he wasn't in Triple-A maybe 45 days. Tops, and then he went straight into MLB, and he.
Did you know he was that good?
You know what, Coach? I will be very. I did not know he was going to be that good in baseball. I only filmed a couple of games. I knew Coach when I saw. When I cut my teeth in '98, and I'm down there and I'm calling youth football at Smyrna. And you've got 800 kids involved in youth football. Gene Carr's running it, and I was on the football board, and so it was really Smyrna had a great youth feeder program. That's where Philip was getting all his kids when he was at Smyrna. Donnie was, Donnie was just loading him up with good beefy linemen that knew how to block. If you could remember, all of Philip's team, all the kids knew how to line up. When you all played them when you were at Riverdale, those were the games. So, I was filming youth, and when I filmed, and my son Tyler Montgomery was playing Triple C ball, so he was 8 years old playing Triple C, and we got in the championship against Una, and I wanted to film the champ and watched it. And they beat us so bad. I mean, it was just like, and Sonny's going up and calling audible at 8 years old. And, and he could flip it at least 45, 50 yards. And Jonah Hendricks, who's been his best friend since they were 4 years old and caught a bunch of passes when he was a senior in high school. I mean, they knew each other, and so he played on Una at the time. And then they had, you remember, I can't think of the kid that was at Laverne that was really good. He had a name like a Tally or Tannery. I can't think of his name.
Okay.
During that same time that was really good, and he was a tailback, and he was on that Una team. But we ended up, at Smyrna, once Sonny got there, Philip, he just inherited, like they started coming. All those Una kids followed Sonny. We picked up Antonio Allen. We picked up several linemen that were key and linebackers. They just, walked right in the front door of the school, back then. And, of course, here was the other thing. Sonny Gray was zone Laverne. He was zone Laverne. Rod Wilkes was zone Laverne. Marcellus Johnson was zone Laverne. I got Sonny's zoning exemption. I moved him from Laverne to Smyrna. I wasn't going to let him go to Laverne at that time. I mean, I was calling youth football. I'll be honest with you. But yes, I knew. And then, he went his sophomore year. He went 7-5. We got beat by you all in the second round of the playoffs. And then his second year he went 13-2, and that's when we broke Riverdale's back the very first time. And went and
hey, was that the year that they got beat so bad by them early in the season and it upset them in the playoffs?
That's correct. I mean, we got destroyed. I mean, Ron had a hell of a team. Gary did it. Maybe it was Gary.
Scott Thomas. No, it wasn't Gary. It was Ron, but it was Scott Thomas was the quarterback. Dave Thomas's little brother.
Yep.
I remember that they beat the hell out of them in the regular season, and 50-something points,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, and then they got upset in the playoffs. I remember that. Yep.
9-7. 10-7, 9-7, somewhere around there. And Josh Crouch, who is the coach at Green Hill, he's the one that caught the pass from Sonny Gray that went into the end zone in 2006. After we got, and that was the year Wilson Central was really good.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And, and everybody was trying to run from Wilson Central because they were pretty good that year. And we were everybody was fearing them. They
were good for a couple of years there, if you remember.
Yes, sir. And I didn't want to go over there and play. That was a tough place to play.
Yep. No, they had a good little run when they first started.
Well, I was talking to Coach Rankin earlier, and we was talking, and I asked him what the big difference is. And, of course, and I just talked to Coach Shad Owens, and we talked about the Oakland-Blackman game, and it's coming up. And then I was talking to Coach Rankin about Riverdale, and he's talking about you and Watson coaching up. I said, what do you think the biggest difference is? He said, y'all had depth, that your twos and threes could, they were just as competitive as Smyrna's ones. That's what he was saying, that y'all had really good – your scout team was excellent that Riverdale's number one was going against.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of kids and we had a lot of good coaches, and Gary, was always adamant about making sure that we were developing our younger guys. I think that's probably one of the things that, there's many things, but that's one of the things that has always stuck with me. I think even to this day, I don't know the last time we lost a JV game in football, to be honest. And I think that's a testament to our players and coaches because we work everybody in practice, and Gary was always big on making sure nobody was standing around. So you do develop that depth. And but, yeah, man, I'll tell you, you talk about that, like whether it's 2004, 2005, you were talking about Smyrna, I was saying about that, I think it was 2004. It was the 2004 year that Riverdale played Smyrna, and we went over there and just destroyed them in the regular season. Gaston Miller broke a run first play of the game. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do, because Marcellus Johnson was a senior that year, and we had Arona playing quarterback.
That's right, yeah.
We had Arona playing quarterback.
Yeah.
And Charles Arona had those moves, man. I mean, he was a good.
Oh, yeah.
See, we got rid of Woolke was 03. So Philip ran Woolke 2001, 2002, and 2003. Philip ran Woolke. That was the Woolke years.
Yeah.
And then 04 was the Charles Arona year. And then Charles graduated, and see, Philip would not let Sonny play as a freshman. I pushed it, but see, now looking back, it was a good thing. Hell, he didn't weigh 140. Him being out there, he didn't have any daggone business being out there in 2004. He never lifted. He never lifted a weight.
Sure.
Now that's the honest God's truth. Sonny Gray never lifted a weight and never went through summer. I mean, the two-a-days. Sonny Gray never went through two-a-days. You know why? He played baseball all the way up to the first day of school. I mean, he was in travel ball. He played travel ball. I mean, people don't realize that Sonny Gray, there were teams out of Franklin and stuff putting Sonny Gray and taking him to, I mean, he was in Florida, he was in Dallas, he was all over. He was a hired kid, he wasn't paid to play, but it's as close as you could get to it. Back then, if you were a kid and you could throw the baseball like him and you're got some hopped up team over at Franklin, you got a lot of money, what do you want? Let's go get Sonny Gray. Let's go win some baseball games. It was common sense. But he never that kid never, but he was tough. And always if you watch Sonny the first 2 or 3 games, his baseball, because he played so much baseball, it took him a little bit to get that football, to where he could throw the football really, really good. And then long about week 6, man, he could really thread it. He could let that thing go on a rope, and that his crossing routes. That's where he would kill you. A man coming across, he could throw it 60 miles an hour, so he'd crush you right in the chest. That was the thing. Woolke, that was the one thing about him. He could throw it 75 miles an hour. I mean, he could let that thing go. I mean, Sonny, I tell you, Go ahead.
That was 20 years ago. Good grief.
And, you know, I took Sonny to the combine, and that was the year Terrell Pryor was like the #1 kid at the U.S. Army All-American Combine. I mean, Sonny's just showing him up, and, you know, and the whole time Scott Kennedy and Jamie Newberg were saying, we're not going to talk anything about him, Stork, because he's playing baseball. So they would not.
Right.
They would not. Sonny's in the combine, like just blowing it up. But Sonny's not getting. You know, they're not going to say a word about him because you know why? When they would talk to, he's playing baseball. So it's a mute point.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mute point. But it was cool for him to go and work out. You know, just t-shirts and shorts. He was blowing it up, and that's when I said, you know, when I saw Terrell Pryor. I mean, he was just such a terrible quarterback. But and when they said, you know, he's going to Ohio State, I said he is not a quarterback. He just just not a quarterback. He just couldn't throw it. He's had such an unorthodox throwing method.
He was big, huh?
He was a big kid, real big. And you know whatever, you know. But see, you know what everybody wanted? They gotten spoiled because what was popular at that time, a running, throwing quarterback. We want a Michael Vick looking the boy, the guy that played, that coached at Florida State. Oh, God, Willie Taggart. Everybody wanted a Willie Taggart that played at Western. Oh, my God, Coach. I mean, my mouth would water for a Willie Taggart. When I was at Eastern, Willie Taggart, I thought Willie Taggart was amazing. I didn't know. We didn't even know who Michael Vick was. This was before Michael Vick. People have no idea, but Willie Taggart was a running, throwing quarterback at Western Kentucky University. Oh, he was amazing. Ooh, you know.
Triple option, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. You know who the coach was? Harbaugh's daddy.
I damn sure know who it was.
Harbaugh, his dad.
I played against him. I know that?
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
It's so good. Well, you got into a battle, and you're sitting at 2-3. You lost to Brentwood Academy 31-0, and in that,
they're good. They're good this year, Stork.
That's what everybody says. They say them and Innsworth are going to be the ones to beat, and then you still got. I mean, McCauley. Who did they end? They upset somebody the other night. Who did they?
Mission Viejo.
Mission Viejo. I mean, you know, that's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're as good as
and Mission Viejo and Baylor handled CPA. It's we're in a wild time, man. Our league is just. Here you talk about Sonny Gray and Riverdale Blackman, and those are different days. This is a different deal right now, man. There's a lot of super talented kids that are attracted to some of these schools, and I mean we're standing there getting ready for the kickoff at BA, and they had a jet fly over the stadium. Like, not a puddle jumper, not a little Cessna. I'm talking about a jet fly over the stadium. And I'm not talking about by coincidence. I'm talking about orchestrated. Fireworks, the whole deal. So
wow. It's turned into a fiasco. It's a circus, Coach.
Oh, dude, it's pretty wild. And Paul's got a good team. They've done a good job. He's gotten a couple players in that weren't on the roster last year. They got a good scheme. They got a couple big tackles, like 6'5", 300+ pound tackles. 2 dynamic receivers on the perimeter, and a nice running back as well. So they're right now they're just better than us. Our kids fought really hard. It was 21-0 at half. We were scrapping and battling. We kind of got to hit a reset here. It's halftime on the season. We got 5 games left. We play Pure this week, which is kind of a unique situation because they're kind of a satellite school, if you will. And I think they're much improved the last couple of years, and super athletic, a lot of speed. So we'll have to make sure we are disciplined in our coverages and our assignments defensively, and then being able to handle their defensive line up front, making sure that we can, create some space to move the ball. But, we got some big games on the horizon. Played Briarcrest right before fall break, and then, we still have Lipscomb, Father Ryan, and MUS still on the schedule. So there's a lot of opportunities for us to continue to get better. I feel good about where we are, even though we played three really good football teams, this past Friday we played a really talented BA team. But kids are playing hard, haven't given up. Understand that we've got a lot of work to do, and for that I'm thankful. Like they like I said, they played their guts out Friday. They haven't lost faith, and I think there's some beauty to that because the world we're in with athletics now, and people picking up, moving, transferring, all the stuff that's going on in college is just trickling downhill to high school, and to be around a group of guys that love each other and care about one another and care about the school, and it's bigger than just them. It still matters. It's still part of the high school football experience, and I hope we don't lose that. At times it feels like we are, but I pray and hope that we can keep it that way.
Well, and you're probably mentioning it's what you're saying is it's going to be a little hard to keep it from getting toxic. I mean, you're one guy going to try to keep it from jumbo jet airplanes and stuff like. I mean, how do you coach against that? I mean, what the hell? I mean, we were here to play a football game.
Well, it's just
come on, Coach. Teach me. What do you tell your kids?
It's just. I'm not saying that about the jet. I'm just saying that we live in a world now where they see it on Saturdays. I was driving home tonight and they were talking about Gundy, getting fired. They're literally talking about the fact.
Oh, did they fire him?
Mike Gundy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Gundy was fired yesterday.
Okay, cool.
31 years, played there.
Wow.
Took them to 2 Fiesta Bowls. One, was top 10 twice. I mean, Mike Gundy's done more at Oklahoma State than anybody. And he starts 1-3 and he's gone. And they're talking about how they'll eventually put a statue up of Mike Gundy, which is, it's so counterintuitive like that, or counterproductive to think that they're sitting here and they're going to get rid of him 4 games in the season. But at the end of the day, man, you're just seeing the writing on the wall in college football that I think Texas Tech's got almost $30 million invested into their roster this year. And they're a good football team, but they should be. I mean, and it's just a different world. I do think, I don't know nothing. I'm worried about Christian Brothers High School football, but I do think you have to be an idiot to believe that Saban didn't see the writing on the wall and said, I don't want any part of this. I'm ready to be done. I mean, you saw Bruce Pearl just retired. It's just, it's a different game right now. And, if you don't have the money, you don't have the leverage. And unfortunately, that at the college level, that's what drives everything. And so, but I think our school still believes in the purity of interscholastic athletics and bringing in kids that want to be a part of the school community and being developed and graduating from our school and being proud to be an alumni. And I love that and support that. But it's difficult when you watch your kids go out and fight their guts out and, they're just completely outmanned. And so it would be different if you were talking about Tennessee Tech playing Northwestern. If you have an FCS school that's getting paid to go play a Big Ten school, they're doing it for a reason, and most of the time it's for money. You and I both know that. But in our league, the disparity, there's a gap right now. I saw it kind of growing after COVID, and I thought it would kind of peak and then valley, and it's yet to valley right now. So, again, I haven't seen Baylor on film, but evidently they're unbelievably talented. Obviously, Macaulay just beat Mission Viejo. And, I've only seen BA in person. I haven't seen Hensworth, but BA in person, and BA is very talented. So, it's just the league we're in, man. I mean, it's a tough league. It always has been. But I'll tell you, you knew Abernathy and some of those guys. You're talking about, you knew some of those guys that were BA guys at one time. This league is it's nowhere near what it was when I got here in 15, and it dang sure isn't what it was 5 years ago.
No,
And
no.
I mean, it's just it's kind of a wild sight at times.
Well, and Coach Abernathy will tell you, there was a lot of kids from that UNA crew that he couldn't take. Because the headmaster, he can't. No, no,
Yeah, yeah,
no, no,
yeah, yeah.
no, 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 no. I mean,
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, and at times he was a little bit to handle. I mean, he really at times was a whole lot to handle on the
Well,
Brentwood.
he's a big personality.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he's a big
so
personality.
yeah, and so but the Amos Masons and the Derek Barnetts and all those kids that played at Brentwood Academy, yes, Coach Abernathy brought them straight through. But I didn't, they all played at UNA. I mean, and then you knew.
Oh, I
mean,
know.
and
Yeah.
then the funny story I love, my favorite story is that he tells is when they were opening JP2, and Jeff Brothers is up at JP2. So Coach so Jeff Brothers hires Coach Ab. So they're sitting there talking and everything. So Coach Ab says we gotta go get a couple of kids. So anyway, they bring to the table Dallas Dixon and J.P. Snelling. And so, Ab's like, we get these two and then we'll build around it. We'll go win a state championship. The headmaster at JP2 said, we can't do this. We just can't do this. So Coach Ab thought about it. Here he's got these two kids thinking about a state championship. He picks up the phone, calls Ezel, Scott Blaze over there. So next thing you know, he moves everything over there. Guess what? You remember that year when J.P. Snelling was quarterback at Ezel Harding and Dallas Dixon? They're putting like 80 points up. That was the year.
Yep.
And so Coach Ab, afterwards, they're sitting there and they're all talking, and Ab said, if you want me to stay, the first thing you need to do is start building a trophy case. And because I'm going to load it up. That's what he told him. He said, build a trophy case. That's what Abernathy told him. He said, you need to get a lot of money and start working on a trophy case. And they didn't want to do that. And so anyway, hell, it was for something else. I mean, Coach Ab, learned a lot from him. And then how I met him was I was doing in 04, in like January through the end of April, I did what was called 9-man football. They play it down at Laverne, and I was the public address announcer, and I filmed it. And this is like the Eagleville Snakes, the Rutherford County Stingrays, the Murfreesboro Red Devils, and the Limestone Lightning. And I called that league. It was called the Tennessee Amateur Football League. You wasn't getting paid. You're basically pulling the helmet out of a trunk of a car and getting out there and playing, football. And I was calling it, killing yourself. And Coach Ab came down there and he saw me calling and he said, man, I need you to come call the Storm. So I would call Storms for like 3 years. I called the Storm in the middle of summer. Oh, my God, Coach, we play over at Stratford. Woo, man. Play over at Stratford and play over at McGavock in the middle of July. Oh gosh, and play teams like the Port City Monarchs would play the Asheville Grizzly. I mean, you play teams from all over the South, the Arkansas Rhinos. I mean, there was just all kinds of teams that would come in. Coach Ab never lost. We never lost. Had Bama Carter on the team. Had a guy that was a quarterback named Felipe Hall. And, man, they were really good. I had a lot of good times, calling amateur football, But, you did the Oakland Blackman game, and you coached against Coach Shad Owens in it. It's still one of the biggest ones. Both teams are undefeated, Coach. Friday night, they're going to tie it on. And that game's
is that right?
Yeah, it's at the Inferno. Matt Kreisky's got his team at 5-0, and Kevin's got his at 5-0, and they're going over. They're going to 48 minutes.
I did not know that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for telling me that.
Well, I'm going to cover it, and I'll shove you the link of my broadcast afterwards, let you see it and everything. But I'm just thrilled and excited, to broadcast that game. It's I know you were. I filmed many games, and it's funny. That's how you and I met. was the Oakland
Oh, yeah.
Blackman game, and you didn't get your
Yep.
video, and you knew I had it, and you were just like,
Yep.
and then like I told you, I said I think after Tavis leaves, I'm gone. I told you I'm going to start, and I wanted to interview you, and it's been you've been with me ever since. I can't thank you enough. I mean, we've had such a great time. I mean, you've been with me since 2012. No. You've been with me ever since 2012.
No, it's been fun, man. I love it. So.
Well, I appreciate
love all you do for high school football, but I hope you have a great time Friday. I hope it's a great game. I'm glad you told me that because I didn't know it. And yeah, man, it's hard to believe we're here. We are 5 weeks into the season, and it just goes super fast.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like you said, it may come to a point where you do what I'm doing. You go find something else to do. You're making a big impact and you're helping. But like you said, when the game gets to where you got to go buy a bunch of kids in order to win the damn thing, I don't know if that's what you want to be in. Then like you said, then the purity of what high school football is. There is something to be said when you look in.
It concerns me, but I love practice. I love our boys. We have a great group of kids. They're dedicated, low drama. I have an unbelievable job. So it's something I still love, but I just hope we don't lose what the purity of like what true Friday night lights are supposed to be. So, anyways, you'll get to experience it Friday night. I'm sure it's going to be a great atmosphere, a great crowd. So, enjoy it, man.
Coach, can't thank you enough for being on Inside the Headset. Take care, and we'll talk to you in about 3 weeks. I'm not going to do the show next week, and then we got fall break, but I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you, brother.
See you, bye.